very few of you expected me to be up this night, or to be streaming at this hour. It is currently just after 7. I've been awake for a little over half an hour. I'm streaming now because I have some family members coming later. And I figure I might as well do what little bit of work I'm going to do in the shed today, now. And I was reading through my my notifications, as I do most mornings, partly because I don't like to miss any notifications from subs who happen to message or comment or what have you, and partly because even when I'm not making content, I'm still interested in what's going on, because I do have a live stream to prepare for. Well, it won't be this Sunday, unfortunately, because the hangout will be the July Sultans hangout will be preempting that, which it is what it is. But well, I mean, I did make a commitment to Sultans, so, and we're all trying to get well, paid. But when I was going through my notifications this morning, and I think that'll do, I got a notification from Truth Social, which contained the name Ray Epps. Now, I'm not sure if I can do this on YouTube or not, so I may very well catch a strike on this. But, yeah, I very much want to know exactly what's going on here. Unfortunately, it's on the post-millennial, so I have to grab an archive link before I can read it. But it seems to have some very interesting news in there. And just getting the... Oh, really? Go back to that. Thank you. Just attempting to get the link archived here. Back you go. There we go. Archive.is and a slash. There we go. Also, I will point out to you guys that if it occurs to you that a story you're reading or an article you're looking at, pretty much any web page, if it occurs to you that what you're reading might be important for other people down the road, it's not a bad piece of idea to throw an archive link up. You might be the first. I see I've got one viewer. Hi. Let me make sure chat is on properly. Running a little brain foggy this morning. Oh, good after midday. So I guess it's good afternoon for you then, Prime. Good to see you. You're 5 hours ahead of me? Wow. And yeah, so I came across this article. I'm just waiting for it to archive now. But as I said, it's not a bad idea. And yeah, it may very well be the sunlight. Oh, it's 11:30. Okay. Let's see, 7. So you're 4.5 hours ahead of me. Cool. Well, no, managed to get that just before I was going to catch a copyright strike for it. That's one of my alarms. I'm usually up well before it goes off, but sometimes I sleep in, and I have to scratch my nose, so I'm going to put you off camera for a second. But yeah, so this is going to end up being the backdrop for a lot of my shed videos. I think a tool wall in the background is actually kind of interesting, gives people something to look at other than my face. Not that I think my face is all that bad looking. But anyway, the archive link is now up. Let me see. Okay. For the record, anybody who's interested, it is archive.is/p, lowercase p, capital Z, what I think is I believe it's a lowercase L, an 8, and a lowercase V. So it's just been archived. Breaking update. Ray Epps' lawsuit against Fox News reveals he's being criminally charged by the DOJ 2.5 years after January 6th. Interesting. The details of Ray Epps' civil complaint against Fox News reveals that he's being criminally charged by the DOJ almost 3 years after the fact. Uh, Quote from the complaint. Finally, in May 2023, the Department of Justice notified Epps that it would seek to charge him criminally for events of January 6, 2021, 2.5 years later. The relentless attacks by Fox and Mr. Carlson and the resulting political pressure likely resulted in the criminal charges. If you're getting criminally charged for something, it's not because people put pressure on you. It's because you did something that you could be criminally charged for. Generally. And criminal charge is not... yeah, exactly, Brian. There may be some explanation of his role. The complaint continues, blaming Fox News for the criminal charges. Quote, and an ellipsis, unfortunately. It is difficult to believe that the Department of Justice would have pursued this matter if Fox had not focused its lies on Epps. Ultimately, the criminal charges conclusively demonstrate the falsehood of the story that Mr. Carlson and Fox told about Epps. And they do have a link to the full complaint. I'm not about to read that on the live stream. But, yeah. And there's a tweet from Charlie Kirk. Apparently in the complaint, this is from Cernovich. I think that's Mike Cernovich. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Prime. I think he was some form of agent provocateur. But apparently, according to this tweet from Cernovich, and I will put that on screen. Let me see if I can get the camera to read it. Just long enough that you can see the Cernovich on it anyway. Ray Epps admits he said, quote, we'll go inside the Capitol, unquote, but now claims in a lawsuit that he was trying to fit in and didn't mean it. And this is a section from the complaint. Epps engaged with Baked Alaska, who, unbeknownst to Epps, was live streaming the encounter. His regular modus operandi. Yeah, because, you walk up to a guy with a camera pointed right at you and start talking, and it's very clear that you're not being recorded, right? Based on his observations of Baked Alaska that night, Epps believed Alaska was seeking to incite violence against the police, calling the officers names and telling them and the crowd that the police had broken their oath. Epps challenged him, this is claims from the complaint, telling Baked Alaska and the crowd that attacks on the police and violence were not what their effort was about. As Baked Alaska began to turn the crowd of a dozen or so Trump supporters against him, Epps sought to prove that he was on their side so that he could de-escalate the situation to find common ground with them. He said, and this is a quote within a quote, I'm probably going to go to jail for this. So you're already aware you're doing something that could potentially end you in trouble. Tomorrow we need to go into the Capitol, peacefully. At that time, Epps believed that the rotunda was open to the public. Original story, yeah. Should definitely check out that archive link. Let me pull that up so you can see it. It'll be in the black line there. So I'll give you a few seconds if you want to memorize that. But yeah, that's 17 degrees. Bloody hell, that's warm for Newfoundland this hour of the day. So, there you go. That is going to be shared to Discord. Oh, okay. What has Sultans changed the name of their American section to? Sorry about that. I'm just hunting for the right channel on Sultans. Maybe it's under America. There it is, America. Okay. Excuse me. Always a little coffee in the morning. So I'm very glad I've finally been able to get my hands on some menthols legally. And sent. Yeah, I was mentioning Sticks in last night's stream, and he had been talking about Adam Kinzinger, and he's tweeted out that Trump is weak, and some mad lad on Twitter, God love him, responded that you thought, and talking to Kinzinger, you thought the Ghost of Kiev was literally Sam Hyde because of a tweet you saw. Who's going to trust your opinion? I do believe I finished my morning coffee. There we go. Let's see what I got to do today. Today I'm going to start by putting screws in the wall. Well, I'm actually going to start by moving this stuff behind me. And to get at that wall so I can finish putting tools up. Actually, the very first step is probably going to be collecting. Excuse me. This is going to be nasty, so give me a second. And I can't really do much about the noise. But yeah, I'm going to collect up the tools that I need. I'll put them on the table behind the camera. I'll change the angle, of course. But yeah, I'm going to be putting together my tool wall just to get everything organized. And let's see. Primed. Hang on. He Fed instigator. Yeah, he's got to prove that he's not at this point. Let's see. Telling people to go in while he had agents or info that was the Fed's plans. Cluster bombs are just like the mind spread bombs. They can stay for decades and hurt people. Yeah, and I'm talking about Sticks still. Yeah, one of the things, I do really enjoy Sticks' content. Not so much for his delivery, especially lately because he's spent so much time complaining about how he's tired. Dude, you have a new youngster, and welcome to modern living. Everybody's tired. Well, everybody who isn't, 100% perfect in their day-to-day lives is going to be at least some form of fatigue. And it is what it is. But, yeah, on the agenda today, I'm going to gather up my tools, get them laid out, finish my tool wall, get that table that I'm going to use for the tool wall against this wall. That door right there, that's got to get moved, so that's probably going to go outside. Welcome to fatherhood, cocaine not included, yeah. And there are times when Sticks says very weird things that make me wonder about him. One of which yesterday was how he's fueled by caffeine. Welcome to the party, motherfucker. But he was talking about how the what's the term? Statute of limitations had expired, so he could talk about how. I see I've got a second viewer. Hi, feel free to make yourself known. And good morning. But he was talking about how when he was younger, and the statute of limitations, of course, having worn off, that he had engaged in psychedelics and I believe marijuana as well, which, depending on how you want to term psychedelic or hallucinogen, is also an hallucinogen. But he was talking about how no one had ever offered him cocaine, and he seemed to be feeling the lack. Oh, good gods. Primed. I know you're a fluffy fellow, somewhat like me. One of the best ways to start losing weight is to get away from that seriously refined sugar. And the monster drinks are incredibly bad. Those energy drinks, they have taurine in them. Do a quick bit of research on taurine. You'll start to wonder if you really want to be putting that shit in your body. But yeah, I found it was much easier for me to lose weight once I got away from the really refined sugars. Now, over there, they may make that stuff with cane sugar, which, fine, it's slightly better for you. I see my second viewer frigged off. Oh well, not your thing, that's fine. Uh, or appears to have frigged off anyway. But uh, lost my train of thought there for a moment. I was talking about Sticks. Yeah, Sticks was complaining. I think he was trying to be a bit wry about it, but uh, had made the comment basically that he was never offered cocaine, and you know, why would you really feel the lack there? Cola Zero, no insulin response, still bad. Yeah. Well, I mean, even those. Sorry. Even those. Okay, I've got to get that out. Just a second. Oh joy. To be a woodmaker in the morning. Oh. Seeing a few stars now. That's fun. And the eyes are water. At least I've stopped sneezing. I don't know what was going on with me the last few days. I was having sneezing fits, and those are painful. What's this? He says he needs to get a hold of caffeine infused tea. Well, all tea has caffeine. Well, all tea that comes from the tea plant has caffeine. Uh, I can't drink tea anymore. Uh, I don't know why, but my body's developed an emetic response to it. If I drink tea, I immediately end up vomiting. Which is really weird considering I grew up drinking tea. But I don't know what was causing my sneezing fits. I think possibly the weather, but yeah. What's the oof for? I'm guessing for the cough. Yeah, it's just one of those things about woodworkers. After a while, you start to get that sort of tickle in your throat that stays constantly. And plus, with me, I smoke, so you have to be prepared for smoker's cough. Milk and honey. Um, I don't blame you. It's actually honey is really good for you. Unless you're allergic to bees, in which case it might not be. But yeah, sorry, I'm still in the process of waking up a little bit, so I'm a little fuzzy. But yeah, the sneezing fits I was having the last few days seem to have abated, which is good. Um, and I think they may have been weather related from air pressure. I'm going to have to blow my nose. Just give me a moment. Well, actually, I'll put that off until I finish my cigarette. But yeah, the agenda today is just to get some tools down out of a set of messy shelves. I can show you those real quick. Yeah, okay, there's the messy shelves. And just to finish doing some cleaning and stuff there. And decide what I'm going to be using those shelves for. Uh, let's see, what else have we got going on? Yeah, I'm going to clear off, if time permits, and it probably will, get the tools off of there, get them onto the table, get this door and this wood out of the way. The door, because it's so long, probably won't stay in the shed. So that's probably going to get stored outside somewhere. I may wrap it in a tarp. I may not. it's an exterior door, so it should be fine in the weather for a little while. I may even put it out on the lawn and put a for sale sign on it just to see if anyone's going to pick it up today. Which, of course, will necessitate the camera staying in that corner today. Which is just as well because that's where all the natural light's coming from. Anyway, that's why I moved the camera. I'm not blowing the chroma when I have the light on that side of me. So, not as badly anyway. I'm thinking if I'm going to keep doing this, that I may need to get some sort of flip over cover for the lens. Just something with a little bit of a smoke filter to it so that my glorious brightness doesn't overcome the chroma. Anything else? You're talking about drinking English-style tea. No, the shed is not an old shipping container. Actually, it was built for purpose, meant to be storage mostly. My brother built it, and he's a motorcycle guy. And if I can get the angle right, I can actually show you. Yep, right there. There's a hook in the ceiling for suspending his bike from. Now, he rides a 1600, I think it's a 1600 Ninja. Beautiful bike. I don't ride bikes, but if I was going to, it would probably be something like that. I prefer to do my high-speed shenanigans in the comfortable confines of air conditioning. But that's me. And I don't really drive particularly fast or anything. I like to think of myself as a responsible driver. But I prefer small, fast, agile cars. Something like Porsches, or ideally I'd love to drive a Lotus. Plastic suicide rocket, brave. Well, I mean, there's no point being completely risk averse. Hang on. You're the guy that will walk into a crowd of people with swords. And you're going to cast aspersions on my brother? Yeah, no. I mean, we've all got our thing, right? We all have that one thing that kind of gets our juices pumping, as it is. For me, it used to be what amounted to parkour rock climbing. Though I haven't got the build for that anymore, or the drive, for that matter. One second, I'll be right back. Oh, that was fun. Finally got rid of that hitchhiker, at least. No, he's got friends. For people in the future who are watching this, I do apologize, but this is waking up, so yeah. If you're watching and you have a moment, kindly show out this live stream. I'd love to have a crowd of people watching, so I have people to talk to later. So let's get the tools laid out here. Where am I putting the camera? I think I'll put the camera back there. I'm going to need the power cord for that. Okay. So are you at work now, Primed? Or are you at home? Or what's going on with your day today? Oh, come on now. Don't be a dick. Dirty little camera stand. Okay, I need to rearrange a few things. so I can rearrange this. There we go. And as I said, I'm expecting company at any point, so this may be a bit of a in and out sort of stream. Let's see. Prime says, I get bashed in metal armor. I don't face 10,000-pound trucks at 120 miles per hour. Food poisoning. Still have bad diarrhea. Oh, that sucks, man. On the upside, at least you know your body is functioning properly and clearing that out for you. I mean, try to bright side things. Yes, I just realized I was hungry. I've been working on the railroad. There we go. Okay. And we'll just put that table on screen for now. These boxes have to go. And am I destroying them or not? I won't destroy them, I'll just flatten them for now. I will say this for Amazon's packaging. Their shipping labels are awfully easy to remove. That'll do. And so I think we've all experienced the whole ordering something tiny from Amazon and having it come in a gigantic set of packages. Almost like that pranking birthday present thing that people do sometimes. Don't be that way. There we are. This is actually a very soggy box. So I think this one is actually going to end up in the trash after all. Or possibly. Actually, probably not. Where could I store it, though, is a question. Okay, I don't have storage for it, so it is going in trash. This one, too, actually. Kind of ironic how many of the skills I picked up in martial arts are applicable to real life. Okay, I'm going to go dispose of this. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, I'm going to cover the camera slightly and turn on the light in here. So, get my finger there. There we go. Not so bad. Now, okay. This stuff I won't need till a little later, so that can come over here. The torch I won't need right away. My last hook. I think all the things that needed to be on hooks are safely on hooks. So, This one is probably going to get used for a scraper. I have a fairly long-handled paint scraper that's actually really good for when I reclaim furniture pieces or pieces of exterior panel, things like that. I do have some door jamb pieces and things like that that have actual house paint on them. This thing is actually incredibly good for getting them off. Believe it or not, I can actually do a little bit of shaping with this as well. Or finishing work, I suppose, because I can manage to put if the wood is soft enough, I can take a thin layer off, similar to what a plane does. I've got to fix the way this shirt lies, because I cut it because it didn't fit well as a dress shirt, and now it's not fitting as well as I'd like it to as a tank top. Because of course it isn't. And I see my name has been tagged. Just a moment. Primed. Oatmeal and fruit for 3 meals today. Oof. That'll clear you out. Morning, Arthurline. Interesting time for a stream. Yeah, I just happened to get up and decide to do one. Popping in to say hello. So hello. There was a ring box I posted in the art wall not too long ago. Very cool. It was flat and spun the ring 90 degrees. Is that the one that had like the motor in it that was rotating? That thing was cool. Let's see. Oh, I forgot one saw when I was putting up my other ones. So this is going to end up on the last. This is a fret saw. Of course, I have it put together in such a way that it wouldn't be a good saw, because that was for storage. So I don't currently have a fret saw blade. Okay, that's not going to work. We'll just do it by hand, the regular way. I see I've got 3 viewers. Hi, everybody. If it's your first time in chat, please make yourself known so I can say hello. Yeah, I don't remember the ring box terribly clearly primed, but art wall. I'll have a look for that at some point. Oh, there's a lot of cobwebs in here. So yeah, anyway, that without a blade is a fret saw. And, is that backwards? I think it is. How the hell did that happen? Oh, there we are. So yeah, your blade would go in these crosses, and yeah, it would be loose initially. So what you would actually be doing is having this sitting partly unscrewed, and then you slot your blade in, tighten that up to tighten up your blade. 4 viewers, hi guys. And I will repeat what I said before. If you have the opportunity and the interest, feel free to shill this out to your friends. And also, if you're feeling any kind of generous and you think what I'm doing is worth supporting, at this point I can't say that I would expect you to, but do feel free to check out my Subscribestar. There's all kinds of links in the description. But I have Subscribestar, PayPal, a merch store. I know I'm forgetting something. If you're in Canada, you can actually send me a direct Interac payment if you want. So now I've got to find somewhere to put a hook up on that wall and get that hung. Okay, I'm going to have to clear that wall first before I can do that. So, I need my gloves. And that pencil can sit on the windowsill next to where I'm going to need it. Okay, I'm just throwing my gloves on as I'm getting this door out the door. Oh, has to be hung up as well. Okay, that drawer can go more or less back where it belongs. That's an old knife block, which I thought would have been hollow wood or possibly plastic. When I picked it up, I discovered it's actually a fairly solid block of wood, so I want to take the surface off of it and find out what kind of wood it actually is. And plus, down in the slots, I've managed to get a few pieces of plastic stuck, so it'll be interesting to get those out as well. And those gloves are actually safety gear, which means they should be in the safety part. In the safety gear zone, which will be over here for now. Okay, you can see it's fairly close quarters. I mean, my finger on that side is on my cabinet door, and I'm probably less than a foot from the window. So, yeah, it's only about 8 feet across. And I think 16 long, maybe 18 long. So it's a bit of a small space for a shop, but it'll do. And someone had mentioned last night that they had a table like this. This one is made of very thin material. It looks like a woodworker's table, but it's really going to be something for very, very light work, which is not what I do. For example, I'm sure you guys have all heard my vices squealing when I go to use them, so. And squealing vices is not drugs on a pig farm either. Sorry, bad jokes are going to be happening. Let's see. Contour saw, pattern saw. It's more of a coping saw. It's a very, very thin blade. Not unlike what would be in a scroll saw, though in a scroll saw the blade twists so that when it oscillates it cuts, similar to a jigsaw or kind of akin to a bandsaw, but slightly different. Apparently the blade is, as I said, exceptionally thin, very easy to snap, which is what happened to. This was actually, believe it or not, this was a yard sale find, which is odd for Newfoundland. Hi, Kissa, how you doing? I am in the process of just cleaning up my shed, and since I had time, I figured I'd do it as a stream. Did one last night. This is because I'm trying to get my shed cleaned up, and that's keeping me from making content of other sorts. I decided, screw it, I'm just going to make live streams while I work. And yes, that's my falchion. I really have some issues with Shad going that way and saying that was Kizza says he just woke up working night shift. Sorry, lost chat. Working night shift, went a bit mad with super chats from the Broken Crown stream. I can imagine. Yeah, you're exceptionally generous to everybody in my sphere, so you know, what can I say? Like, you are awesome, dude. I also wonder how much money you make. Nope. Okay, this is going to be a challenge, because that board wants to fall. Remember, kids, lifting your legs, not your back. That's not. Okay, let's. Yeah, okay. Can we lift it that way? No, balance point is not quite right. Okay, I'll be right back. I need tape. Putting a for sale sign on that fucking door. And of course, I haven't brought my... Okay. I haven't brought my adhesives out here yet, which means my tapes are still in the house. I'll be right back. Let's see. The only thing that stopped me was my job, ironically enough. Don't go full sim spending, sending monthly wage to thoughts. I don't have an OnlyFans account, thank you. Not what I was getting at. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to go get my box of aerosols and adhesives. And the disco bottle. I actually have to make sure that works. Okay. Reminds me, I need to find an old iron somewhere. There's a method of, not exactly repairing wood, but if you're working a piece and you drop it or drop something on it and it gets dented, there's a method by which you can use water and heat to fix the dent in a hurry. Let's see here. Yes, you are actually very generous, because it's much appreciated. Much to say on various topics they go over, rarely if ever they say I'm wrong on this. And it is a beautiful morning. Not the wank. It is not the wank shed. One of the beautiful things about being in a relationship is wanking is far, far, far and away unimportant. Seek not to wank. Seek to fill the... No, no, no. Still YouTube. So yeah, I have a couple rolls of painter's tape, which I'm going to use to put a for sale sign on that door out there. I imagine someone may want it for a cabin or potentially for a shed. It was initially going to go into this shed, but it turned out to be an inch too long. There we go. I'll be right back again. Okay, sorry about that. So now, you guys may be interested in unboxing videos, I don't know, so wet wipes. Honkin' big hammer. It's actually a soft blow hammer, so knocking pieces together, things like that. I have two of them. I ended up buying a larger one when I replaced the first one because the first one had gotten, oh, it's over here, just a second. This one, which was perfectly serviceable, and still is, has some paint on it. And because of that, it can mar some of the delicate finishes, so better to have a second one. And that's got to go on the tool wall as well, so that's just more pile there. More tape. A white paint marker, which may or may not work anymore. It's never really all that good anyway. A couple of sponges, one sanding. This is really meant to be a cleaning sponge, but it's rough enough that you can actually work a surface with it. Prisoner tape, I mean duct tape. And I do believe I have a pile of, yeah, and some electrical tape. There we are. And all of that belongs in this cabinet over here. Which we'll get, can't do, okay. Okay, I'm getting too scattered again, so I need to move some things around here. Really? That's good to know. That was a second-hand cabinet. The cabinet in the corner, you can see the lovely fresh peeled paint spot with the paint there, which came off with the tape. I no longer keep screws in there, so I pulled the tape label off, and a lot of the paint went with it. That was secondhand, and well, actually it was donated, to be fair, but it's probably got 7 or 8 different colors of paint, which means at least one of them will be oil underneath latex. So yeah, it doesn't really stick to itself very well. Let's see. Prime Knight says, I know that can. That's WD-40. It's man deodorant. That, in fact, is WD-40. There is nothing quite like WD-40. Well, actually, there is nothing like WD-40. The family that, or the company, perhaps, has managed to keep the formula of WD-40 a trade secret for close to 100 years now, I think. I know on their website, wd40.ca, if you're interested, there's a blurb about how old the company is, how long the formula's been around. And it might be, that sort of history might interest some people as well. Now, where am I putting tape? Adhesives is up there, abrasives is there. Put tape down here then. And I found staples from my staple gun. Interesting. Okay. Now, as I found the staple gun earlier, I'm going to try. Oh, that's why you were being a problem. the user manual from the staple gun in there. I don't believe my staple gun needs to be oiled at any point, though it may. I'm going to have a quick flick through that to make sure. And, yeah. Safety instructions, staple length guidelines. Okay. Everything else is self-explanatory and it doesn't need to be oiled, so that's good. If Blackout happens to join us, he's going to be excited. Not by the glue sticks, and not by the other Canon WD-40. Probably not by the glue either. If you're doing woodwork, I absolutely recommend this stuff. It's Gorilla Glue. It is type 2, so it's water resistant, which means you can use it indoor, outdoor. Once this stuff sets, it's probably the best glue I've ever dealt with, and I've dealt with industrial level glues as well. Now that's for wood products, obviously. Okay, my adhesives. It's the glue for the glue gun. If you were wondering what was in the pill bottle, that is actually glue sticks for a hot glue gun. I do have a can or a little container of 3-in-1. A little container of Gorilla Super Glue. This is the original Gorilla Glue. I've got the labels torn off, unfortunately. But this is the stuff where you need to actually apply a little bit of water to one surface. Let's see. Maureen says, and good morning, Maureen. Maureen says, Gorilla Glue is also excellent for your hair. Don't use Gorilla Glue for hairspray. If you know the meme, you know the meme. Yes. Yeah, don't use Gorilla Glue for your hair. Yeah, it's good to have everybody here. Morning, Maureen. And Lomax. I'm a Newfoundlander, not Irish. Not a fucking leprechaun. I'm a goddamn gnome. No, I have to say, though, I really did like that picture. For those of you not aware, and I can't imagine too many of you are, for those of you not aware, Lomax actually did the, I guess we'll call it branding graphics for He is the Unix Discordant Dragons. And they're beautiful. You also did the opening intro for that matter. Oh yeah, I did. Yiz sent it to me immediately, and I did feature it on my stream of 2-3 weeks ago now. I agree, Kizza. However, I can't say that on YouTube because, well, that might be seen as inciting violence. But I really wish one of these leftists would use actual OG Gorilla Glue to glue themselves to something at some point. Because that's not coming off the same way that super glue will. Candles. I have a box of candles from when I made a candle holder. I'm going to have to make another at some point. Lighter fluid for a lighter I no longer own. Okay, that will go up in the wall for now. And Lomax may appreciate this as well. This is 2-part epoxy, not this, what's left in the box. But Lomax may appreciate this as well, being he's an artist color guy. And that's my very, very small collection of spray paints. I was about to say I thought I had a gold and a silver, but the color is very similar. On screen they look different. That's good. Where'd my knife go? Out of the way. Okay. So yeah, these are wood finishes. These are essentially a varnish. This is a clear coat, and these are 3 metallic paints. The purple is also a metallic. The red is a very flat red. And apparently something oily was leaking in there. It was the 3-in-1. Okay. So that's got to be cleaned up before I do anything else. I'm guessing the 3-in-1 probably has a small leak around the nozzle at the top. And it was probably knocked over at some point and left for a while. So, since I can't... Oh, and of course it has a spout in it. Because who doesn't want a spout in their 3-in-1 oil? That's weird. Why on earth would you do this 3-in-1? What the hell? Really? Kizzy, you work on engines. Is there any real good reason that a woodworker would need this? I'm thinking not. Oh, lovely. It wasn't closed properly. And it seems to be pressurized. That's nice. Okay, so that's going to have to be laid down somewhere till it finishes doing whatever the hell it's doing. Okay, I just heard the pressure equalize, so that's good. I don't like a lot of loose oil around because oil will stain wood, and we don't want that in certain pieces. So we're going to have to make sure that's clean and find a sealed surface I can lay that on that won't be hurt by oil. Difficult in here. Okay. Okay, that will do for a makeshift container. Hopefully I don't knock it over. Let's see. Let's see. Kizza says he said far worse on YouTube than gluing leftists to an F1 car with Gorilla Glue on YouTube and never gotten in trouble. That's good to know. And since I've got a few extra viewers now, I will ask you guys if you would kindly shill me out and do a little shilling myself. Check the links if you want to support me. There's Subscribestar, a few other things. Let's see. Kizza says he might ask Penny for an updated piece of art soon if I can get a good base picture for it. It's a good choice. After posting, I realized the child on your lap in your avatar. Does that represent your niece? Yes, it does. And she is, in fact, cute. She's getting big, actually, because she's, what, year and a half now? 2 years? No, that can't be right. She must be 3 or 4. Anyway, I'm going to go dispose of this, and I'll be back. And it's nice to see that even on a foggy day, Newfoundland wasps are busy. Gregory Price. Hi, Gregory. It's good to see you. Ironically enough, use my niece to radicalize Aiden to make babies. Good call. Okay, so the spray paint. This stuff is going to end up needing its own shelf eventually, which I think will probably be one of those over there once I get this table cleared. Okay, so that's the aerosols. I think it's time for a cigarette. I haven't sat down for a while. What's my charge at? 87? It's not charging? What the hell? Oh, it is. Okay. And it does look like it's trying to be a brighter day, so hopefully we'll get some decent weather out of this today. Okay. You know what? I'm too lazy to keep dropping that thing, so I'm just going to do it this way. Oh, and that's nice to see. My mic stand that I'm using for a tripod is actually bending. That's not so good. So, assuming I have this angled correctly, there, that appears to work somewhat. I think I'm shortly going to have to create some hard points to anchor that down, but for now, this should work. There we go. So yeah, I mentioned off the top of the stream that I had found a post-millennial article through Truth English. It's not that easy even for those of us who grew up speaking it. Anyway, I mentioned off the top that I had found an article from the post-millennial on Truth Social. And it talks about how Ray Epps is suing Fox News. But in the complaint that he's bringing, and I'll address your issue in a second, Bleach. There's a misunderstanding in your acronym, but the article talked about how Ray Epps had actually admitted to saying that they needed to go into the Capitol, and that he was openly admitting to having been there. So who is Ray Epps? I can't wait to see the fallout of this. There is an archive link. I don't know if I can actually edit my description right now or not. Can I even put anything into chat? I can't. Okay. Oh, I can mute my microphone. That's good to know for the next time I end up with a coughing fit. Sorry about that, Brian. I inflicted that on you for no good reason. Anyway, as I was saying, Lomax. Okay, you're talking about the avatar you did for Kizza. Okay. And he had forgotten to include Kizza's niece. Would have made the piece much more unique, true. Kizza says it's fine. He understands that people didn't see it on YouTube. We have tiny pictures here. This is true. Bleach says, wasps are busy. Yes, you are. Low-hanging joke. Unfortunately not, because a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that the WASP acronym stands for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. But that's a redundancy, and I'm sure Kizza will back me up on this. If you say white and Anglo-Saxon, you're being redundant. It's actually wealthy Anglo-Saxon Protestants. You know, the people who named their daughters Buffy. Or Muffy. Yeah. I am not wealthy. If I was wealthy, I'd have a far bigger shed, and I'd be doing this for fun, as opposed to, profit and fun. Yeah. Let's see. Prime says he needs to find the video of the green tire that concreted themselves to a road if they want to be stuck there. They can have a cancer thrown. Evil. Do it. That was a German protester who was clearly a dirty hippie. Yeah, I made hash of the... Actually, if you flick back through my live streams, and it should be on my live stream playlist, you'll see the cover picture is him with his asphalted hand. Let's see. Oh, Lomax was saying the ouch was in reference to me poking him in the eye with a cigarette butt. Yeah, that started off just as something I did randomly. And it ended up catching a few people's attention. And the first time I heard it in playback, it caught my attention, so I decided to stick with it. So it's kind of my version of the Crowder slurp, or uh, yeah. Let's see. Bleach, the footage. Oh, hang on. The footage is out there on Eps if memory serves. It's a wag the dog, indeed. Maureen says, Muffy, that sounds like slang for something. Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. Because also, everyone, I shall return to Discordant Dragons on the 31st, so do stay tuned for that episode. Excellent. That's awesome. And Kiza is kind enough to explain to Maureen that it is, in fact, a slang term for vagina. Uh, Bleach thought WASP stood for Wanker Anglo-Saxon Protesters. Fortunately, no. And Kiza shared an article. What's the article, Kiza? Oh, it's the guy we were talking about. Excellent. And it is sort of my call sign. Though I don't know if I want to be known as Siggy Butt if I end up flying a fighter jet. or Butt Basher. So yeah, this is going to be not the right angle, but this backdrop behind me is going to be my tool wall, and I'm going to be starting to. I usually sit in front of a window anyway when I do videos out here, my Thinking Man's Thursdays, things like that. And although lately I've been indoors for some of those, and it depends. Next week I'll be over at Stormy's again for a week, but we're going to be doing a lot of real life work. So I don't know that I'm going to have a lot of time for content even that week. I'll make what I can where I can. Obviously, I'm committed to Sultans and my Sunday stream. Again, that's preempted this Sunday. What else? I will try to make at least one more appearance with Yiz. Let me see. This is the 16th. This weekend. Today is the 11th or 12th. So Monday would be the 17th, 24th, 31st. I don't know that I'll be available for the 31st for Yiz. I might offer to be on the 24th if she needs me. So we may end up on a stream together, because one of these days we might end up on Dragons together again. I think we've been on before together. Let's see. Chemical burns from concrete is not fun. I've been in a burned chalk silo. It burns the skin when in contact with sweat. Yeah, concrete is no joke. Bleach says Siggy Pop is an option too. And Bleach says today's the 13th. Oh, okay. That's right. It's Thursday. So yeah, progress is progressing, but it's going slow. I've got a lot of storage wood and things like that I have material to make things of. It's now just a case of getting everything cleared up. This shed became clutter central over the winter, so it's just a case of getting things thrown back to where they should be. I need to get some lumber. That'll probably be this week as well, so that I can build some stands. Missed Friday the 13th by one day. I've never put a lot of stock in Friday the 13th. Full moons, on the other hand, I have, because I've worked in a hospital on a full moon. Full moons are insane. And the moon does affect people, just as much as the weather affects people. So, Lomax wants to know what I'm interested in making. One of the things I do plan to make is wooden weapons. Things like boken, which I've got a Western-style boken design that I'm working on. Mostly sparring practice swords, presentation stuff as well. But I've also expanded, and I intend to make... I do intend to finish that flute for my friend Cass eventually. The Ghost of Garduna. He's the guy who wrote the Tales of the Driftwood People, some of the original readings I've done on my channel as well. But that's probably what this channel is going to end up being eventually. The YouTube side will probably be completely non-political, mostly just dedicated to things like shed streams and original, readings anyway, whether original or not. But yeah, I want to. I've looked at Polynesian weapons as well because I know they used a lot of wood for their stuff. Uh, Actually, in the last couple of days, I've discovered that what I thought was a uniquely Norse idea, the idea of an oar as a weapon, or a practice item anyway. I've discovered that there's an Okinawan kobudo uh, pole arm called an iku, which is basically a kind of a spear stand-in, which is essentially a very long. It's akin to, I guess, a naginata in terms of something made of wood. But yeah, I'd like to do that. I like to do craft level stuff. I can build cabinets. That's what I trained to do. But the cabinet making program I did, I was being taught by somebody who'd been doing woodwork forever. And he was nice enough to teach me extra things. Well, he was teaching all of us extra things. But the skills that you learn to do fine woodworking, fine cabinet making, things like carving, stuff like that, easily lends itself to doing things like making bocan and things like that. So, and I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I grew up making wooden swords for myself. So, and wooden toys. I do want to actually make wooden toys as well. Things like pull cars and stuff like that. So, just kids, I might be interested in that. I might make a Formula One similar car anyway. Or maybe something more like an Indy car, since I think they're a little less intricate. But yeah, I also have some plans for, and I can actually show you guys that. Over here, there's a, let me see if I can get my finger to point properly. There's a Newfoundland flag there, which I intend to build. And behind it is a piece from the Dresden Files, which is a fandom I'm very much part of. Uh, Trim and Discordia and myself have done streams talking about Dresden. Me and Trim have done streams as well, connected to his Art Shack streams, where we've talked about the Dresden Files. The sign says accorded neutral territory or accorded neutral ground, and that's actually a sort of a replica prop from uh, one of the settings in Dresden Files. Prime says the moon affects tides. Seems logical it might affect something in people. Well, it affects tides. Being a fisherman, I know that if you are collecting shellfish, lobster, things like that, you want to do it as close to the full moon as possible because they will be the meat will be larger. I don't know if that's something to do with engorgement from water or if it's simply some cycle that I don't know about. Let's see. Kizzle would like to do that damn car stream I've been talking about with Hayden and Spoon. I thought you guys had set that up for this week. I remember I popped into one of the Broken Crown streams and you guys were talking about it, or they were talking about it. Prime says an F1 1/16th scale fully modeled in wood. 1/16th. I don't know about particularly detailed, but I can do a model. It's just a matter of getting it's just a matter of getting the parts put together and built, or built and put together, I should say. I should do that in order. Kizza says if he had fuck you money, I'd build the ultimate race car that'll smash all the records on the main tracks. Yeah. Let's see. Bleach says those little pull dogs can be wildly complex. My great grandmother had one from 1890. The head would move as well. Oh yeah, that's the one where the head will bounce up and down, the tail will wag. Yeah, that's, you can do all that out of wood, but there's some serious gearing involved inside that. But yeah, that's the sort of thing that I could do as well. It's just a question of having the plans and figuring out how to do it. Some things I can look at and just figure out how they're built. Kizza says he hopes, but last Saturday didn't happen. Yeah, and I thoroughly enjoyed the car stream we did too. I'm not a huge car guy. I like driving. I don't really care all that much about the mechanical side, but yeah, it's wonderful to share passion with people. So let's see. I'd love a Dakar Mad Max car to drive. That sounds familiar. Dakar Mad Max. Are you talking about the oh god, the Interceptor? I like the Interceptor. If you're not talking about the Interceptor, Brian, just tag me in somewhere in the Sultans Discord and shoot me an image of it. I'll see it at some point today. Speaking of which, what time is it? Okay, it's 20 after 8. I've been going for about an hour and 20, so I am going to go back to work. Lancia 037, the best race car ever made. I'm trying to remember what one I liked. There was a Lancia, and it's ironically it's one they turned into the Transformer Wheeljack. I believe that was. Oh, it's gone. I believe that was a Lancia though. Let me just get the camera reset, and we'll go back to work. Dakar is the desert car. Desert race. Okay, I want that kind of car, but Mad Max style. Yes, Bleach, you're right. It was a Stratos. Oh yeah, the Dakar Rally. Yeah, I've watched a few of those over the years. We actually had for a while a Targa race here in Newfoundland, in this part of Newfoundland actually, which was essentially a time trial race in different classes. That we'd have guys like, I think the biggest name that came out of that was Andrew Comrie Picard. And yeah, they one of the municipalities that it was running through decided that they didn't like it. You know, they didn't like having millionaires bringing tourists to their town. So they decided to put the kibosh on it, which meant it actually had to end for this part of Newfoundland. Fucking assholes. One of the very first videos I ever took for my old channel was a short race called the Targa Bambina, which was in a town close by here called Frenchman's Cove. It was actually run through, there's two towns that are kind of merged, Garnish and Frenchman's Cove. And I was able to get up onto do the Fink race. Fink. Don't know what Fink is. Bleach says he was supposed to navigate Targa in 2003. Driver backed out here in Newfoundland? Or just a general Targa somewhere else? That would have been awesome. 2003. I was in Alberta at the time, but I think 2003 was about where I discovered it. Yeah, no, that would have been a good time for your Bleach. You could have got introduced to Newfoundland girls. One of these days, I'm going to have to introduce you to a Newfoundland girl, I think. It was Comrie Picard, yeah. COMRIE-PICARD. And, of course, I remember it because Picard. Nerd. Okay, adhesives. Okay, you are ready. Okay, adhesives. Let's see, what else have we got for adhesives? Nothing. This thing has to hang up out of the sun. Or hang out of the sun, so the best place for you is up here. Let's see. Actually, Bleach, I don't know if you saw this or not when I created it, but you may appreciate it now. This is my spray bottle for disciplining cats and arrogant Catholics. And I won't say the name. No, I just won't say the name. Let's see. This is supposed to be up here. And thought I had another one. No. The round plastic piece is actually the top of a jar that I'm going to use for a template for making coasters and things. I do like to make fanciful stuff, but I also want to make things that people can use. So, yeah. Okay, so the only thing left now is to start putting things away. Actually, you're so useful, you might as well end up here. I need to figure out what I'm doing with this paracord. unused hanger. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I need to move that scrap wood out of there. I'll put that over here. Actually, I'm just going to move it slightly to the side and finish my tool wall. Oh, really? You're half an inch? Not even, quarter of an inch too long for where I want you. Okay. This is the piece that I put down under my table saw when I take it outside. So I can't even break this up. Okay, I should be able to slide it back there. Oh, and you won't go there because of that. Okay. Well, for now, you can rest right there, and I can put you there when I get that table moved. And one thing you guys will have noticed, I'm sure by now, is that I don't do a lot of work with what they call engineered materials, or what's the other one? The other term they use for it? Manufactured materials. Generally, I don't bother with plywood and things like that, so. I mean, I can work with it, I just choose not to most of the time. Okay, that's out of the way. And I need to put in a bunch of screws from places. They don't line up, that's unfortunate. I'm not real fond of having those that close. Just putting a screw hook in the wall for the spoke shave at this point. Just moved it. And you'll notice when I did it, I used the same technique you should use when you're throwing a punch. You brace from your foot. Ouch. I'm going to have to move those clamps eventually too. Last thing I need is to be bending down for something at the tool wall and smoke my head off of that. Those suckers hurt. Let's see. Australian Desert Race. Oh, the Finca. Okay. Or is it Finky? Fink. Let's see. Kizza saying to Bleach, the 037 is still the last rear-wheel drive car to win the WRC title. Cool. Compre Picard, that's a name I've not heard in years. Nice guy, hung out with him at a main rally. Cool. Yeah, he did seem like a nice guy on TV, and he was in my hometown briefly at one point. I didn't get a chance to meet him because I was living in Alberta, but everyone who talked to him said he was nice. Let's see. Kizza, Bleach, to Bleach. I would turn up in a GT3 modified for... Oh, no, I turn up in a GT3 modified for rallying. GT3. That's... Nissan? No. Like I said, I don't really know cars real well. Bleach says, I don't know, the old Safari Rally was brutally amazing. That was a bucket list event for me. Sadly won't happen. Is there a wood similar to ash but more common on northern latitudes? Ash is actually a northern wood, so yeah. Bleach, pretty great, Kizza. I keep telling myself I should get back into rally, just hate hands devices. Is that the halo, the neck thing? Head and neck safety, I think. Also, he turned, your niece turned 2. Excellent. happy belated birthday to your niece. And it'll say, oh, don't do a Dale. Oh, it's a Porsche. Okay, I had a feeling. I wasn't 100% sure. And, yeah, don't pull a Dale Earnhardt. and, I mean, as much as I talk about, you know, how inconvenient some safety devices can be, they do exist because sometimes random shit happens. So, yeah, it's not necessarily a bad idea to consider it. Okay, I need to start making holes in the wall. Okay, so the axes and the machete can go there. Okay. Axe will go there, so I need... Okay, I need to get my drill out now. Look, kids, I'm finally going to use some power tools. No, I need to get this thing out of my way. Okay, so I hit that hard enough to knock the thumbtack loose. There, get in there. Hate thumbtacks. Where's my drill? Right, I put that up here today. Or last night, possibly. Okay, you guys can't really see what I'm doing on that table anymore, so let's do this. I do really love the Radley batteries, because they have a lovely little power meter in them, which I think does not turn on while you're actually using it, so it doesn't actually draw power. 9 people watching, 0 likes. That's interesting. Let's see, Porsche. Many safety devices exist because of a lack of common sense. True. Bleach. I've rolled into trees back in my old rally day. One impact with the hands could have fucked me up bad. Okay. Arthur Line says he's catching on the Broken Crown stream later. Had no idea how much spoon was goaded to try to say the ooh Jeff's. Hello. Kizza to Prime, touche, but if you understand what I mean by pulling a Dale, you'd understand why the hands device is mandated. And Arthur Line from Kizza, yes, he was, but Aiden loved my Subaru joke. Something about lesbians? Okay, let me see here. That's harvesting, so I'll go with the harvesting section first. I need a drill bit. Actually, yeah, I'm using that one. I can use this. Oh, interesting piece of trivia for you guys. This is a Robinson screw set. Yeah. I'm Canadian. Well, ish. Actually, that would work better if I did it that way. Let's see. Okay, I need to know where I'm putting that first. So I need my scratch awl, which is probably on that corner. There we are. Okay, where'd that hole end up? Oh, lovely. Okay, so we're going to do that a little differently. Just going to place it and then put a screw in. Bugger. Okay. Of course, just as I'm talking about how nice the Robertson screw is, or the Robertson, I should say, you guys can't even see what I'm doing again. Sorry. That'll do. Okay, so that's the axes on the wall. Now for the machete. The machete's going to go slightly further in the corner. Might not be on shot when I sit there, but one thing I do dislike, this is a Tramontina machete, and the one thing that I really dislike about it is the length of that sheath. That should be an inch, inch and a half, maybe longer, so it covers the bottom of that. The bottom swell on the grip, but it is what it is. And again, as it was a gift from a neighbor, I won't look at it in the nose or the mouth, as the case may be. Now, I do already have a hook up there, but that's up far too far, so this, speaking of safety devices, this is probably one of the best ones ever. This is a push stick for a table saw. That's all it is. Yeah. But it's one of the most important things to do to keep your hand away from a table saw blade. Oh, and I did have my name on it. Let's see, you can go back where you were, actually, I think. You could be fine up there, if I can find it again. And since I can't, that will go right there. And I want to pull that screw out, don't I? Yes, I do, because that screw is perfect for what I'm doing. And I can't get in there because of my clamps. Of course I can't. Okay, can't get into that. Let's try the actual screwdriver. That's a smaller screw. That can stay there then. There we are. Okay. And I put the machete down here. There we are. Okay, that's on the wall. Now, what other tools do I need to put on the wall? The file roll, I don't think will end up on the wall. But I could certainly use a tightening up. There's the, okay. Let's bring it up a little bit differently. And that knife needs to be sharpened as well. Okay. I'm going to take the opportunity to play with a bit of fire. It's actually getting very, very muggy here. Muggy being the term for humidity, if you guys don't know it. It is currently 17 degrees. That's our humidity level. So yeah, it's foggy. 17 degrees, and let me see if I can find the humidity level. Current humidity is 99%, which is about standard for Newfoundland. Or at least this part of Newfoundland anyway. Okay, you guys can't quite see my hands, so I'm going to drop that down a little bit. Back up a little. I need a cold surface. And there you go. You make a knot, you burn the end, seal it up. Nylon rope, handy as hell. Try not to breathe the smoke. And try not to let it actually ignite. But you can see what happens to the nylon here. And I'm not really concerned. It's a cigarette pack, so. And there you go. It's a cord with two ends. And I needed to put something through that loop. Because there used to be, actually no, not through that loop. I want to put this on the wall, so this is actually going to get tied up. And if there happen to be any legation fetishists here, please hold your applause till the end. Oh, okay. We're going to do that a little differently. Let's go with the surgeon's knot. Okay, I screwed that up. It wasn't a surgeon's knot, but it'll still work. And I need another hook over here. Or a screw, rather. This time I can use a short screw. Not that short. Let's go with one of these. And the reason I'm wiping the screw down is because these came out of a piece of furniture that was very old, and they had developed a fair bit of surface corrosion. So I had put them in WD-40 to soak, and clearly it had an effect. Normally corroded screws aren't a big deal, but didn't want to take the chance just in case. Now, you need to sit about there. So that's going to have to go about there. Okay, and that's marked. Well enough that even I could find it. Okay. It's slowly beginning to look like a tool wall. I just wanted to make some minor adjustments to where everything was sitting. Let's see. Okay, I need to hang those up. They can go on the same screw if I use a long one. Maybe I'll use one of the long ones. Let's see. Those are going to go. Maybe I should do 2 tool walls. Possibly. But I won't. And the next thing beside them will be this thing. So that's going to go there. Okay. Oh, I screwed that up. Yes, I did. Or did I? Yes, I did. Okay, so that's not going to work that way. I have to move that one. So that one can come over here. That will sit there. That one has to come out. Drop down significantly. More significantly. Okay. Okay, it's beginning to come together. I need to put both of those up. They need to go side by side. Actually, Okay. That. Oh, okay. I was thinking I could put my nail sets and my screw bit, or my drill bits on the same hook, but that's not going to work. What have I got that's small enough to go there? Okay, I need to move my saws. Which means I just need to pull those out. Oh, not those saws, these saws. Okay, so now I'm reimagining my tool wall again because it needs a tweak. I should actually move that camera over here so you guys can see how I'm building my tool wall. Or compiling it, anyway. As it's getting sunny out, I'm actually going to sit down and have a cigarette. Possibly go get a coffee. Not long enough I could use another coffee. In any case, those get laid down there. And yeah, we're going to have a smoke and then continue with the tool wall, I think. Let's get you twirled and dropped here. Okay. And you guys are still talking about cars. That's awesome. Come on, you miserable bastard. Okay, let me try something slightly different here. I'll just dispense with this stand for a moment and poke that down into the table slot itself and see how that works. That's not bad, actually. Pull it down a little bit. Let me get a cigarette and I'll come back. Whew. Oh, so I'm sure I've missed a few things by this time. Let's see what we've got here. If the car stream does happen, 2001 was, but Aiden loved my Subaru joke. Okay. Maureen says, stop whining for likes, Ardent. You're not a girl. Wasn't whining, that was observant. And it clearly worked. I've got 2, so there. Let's see here. Arthur line 2, Kizza. LOL, yeah, funny, I saw that. Oh, how could you do that to Spoon? That's just mean. Subaru! Ugh, terrible. Actually, it's kind of funny. Okay, I know what some of these words mean, primed. Uwu is not one of them, thankfully. I do know what senpai means, and I know what baka means. Yamete kudasai, I do not understand. Yamete kudasai. Please forgive me, notice me, something like that, I think. I know the whole notice me senpai thing. I remember that meme. I'm not aware what a Dale is. Dale Earnhardt Jr. primed. He was killed, if I recall correctly, in a crash because he wasn't wearing a hands. Or that's the claim, that he had nothing to protect his neck. I think it was a traumatic spinal injury. Bleach is yelling, clip that. I have no idea what that was, but I'm terrified. 2001 Indy race, Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, so Kizza cleared that up for him. Killed in a frontal impact in a NASCAR race. 2001 Daytona 500. Geez, that was 22 years ago already. Lomax says he'll give me a like if I do a jig and proclaim my love for pots of gold and 4-leaf clovers. I will give you one single Bagora, and that's it. Best I can do. Knight Prime says, shouldn't you have 2 of those? One to push forward, one from the side against the stop on the table saw. No, because that device actually allows you to put bidirectional pressure on. You push down and in. Your other hand should be guiding it past the table saw and should be far and away from the table saw, from the blade itself. You can use your hands. The thing with the push stick is really if you're less than 6 inches from the table saw, from the blade as you're making the pass, that's really where you want the push stick. But generally your outside hand, if you're too stupid to pay attention to where your fingers are, you don't deserve to have your fingers, in my opinion. Let's see. Kizza, if the car stream does happen, should I try and make Aiden go full Japanese on 90s Japanese performance cars? Yes. Yes, you should. I was trying to think of what the name of that song from Tokyo Drift was, because I was going to say Tokyo Drift theme song intensifies. But yes, absolutely. And not talk about the old RX-7s. Oh, I remember the RX-7s. Those were nice cars. And yes, Bleach Heresy. Lomax to Kizza. So essentially you've just made it your life's mission to hack Aiden like I try to hack ChatGPT. And yes, it does have a very, very unique engine sound. It's got a Wankel engine. I think it's pronounced Vonkel, but yeah. We're mostly English speakers here. And some actual Englishmen here. Speaking of, Kizza, I did make Aiden Spoon now think a 20B, a 20B. I think her left us to read. Fair. Let's see. Bleached to Kiza, not including 80s Japanese cars. I'm not using that term because it is considered racist, and I am on YouTube. But it's related to end nippers. And not including 80s Japanese cars excludes the Pic RX-7, thus heresy. That was the 87, if I remember right. Might have been an 85 RX-7. If I recall correctly, primed, the RX in the RX-7 actually does stand for the rotary engine, though I may have that wrong. So I don't think any of them are straights. JDMs, they vary from 4 to 6. Okay. Mostly 4 bangers, not exclusively, says Bleach. Then you have things like the Supras with 6, sometimes twin turbos. One of the guys who was a little older than me in high school had the Supra with the twin turbo. That would have been a 92, I think. And the thing I remember the most about it was the monstrously ugly spoiler on it, which I assume was probably incredibly useful. Only the NSX was North American. GDM, okay, you guys are off in the weeds for me. Bleach says to Kiza that he didn't realize that he built Mitsubishi engines, so very narrow scope, cool. Sasquatch is in, says, wow, hi Sasquatch, if you're still here. Kiza to Gregory Price, which JDM had a V8, V12. Lomax, that totally wasn't worthy of a like, but I'm feeling generous. Sasquatch asks if I'm okay. I'm doing good, brother. How are you getting on? And I'm reconnected. Okay. So the stream is stuttering at this hour. That's good to know. Let me see. I'm willing to bet that's because it is 9 o'clock. My nephew is just awoken getting ready for work, so he has connected probably 4 or 5 different devices to the internet and sucked my bandwidth away on me. Let's see. Gregory Price says Toyota Century. I don't think I've ever heard of a Century. Had a V12. That sounds interesting. Interesting enough, I'm going to get up and get my phone so I can actually look that thing up. And yes, you guys can, well, you can't actually see me doing it. I'm using my pinky to touch the screen. You can make fun of that all you like, because normally I'd use my nose. Come here, you. No, I don't want photos. V12 Toyota Century images. And yes, for those of you who did notice, my accent completely drops away when I'm talking to electronic devices, because it's like talking to Americans. No offense, Bleach and Sasquatch, but sometimes you have to slow your voice down to the point that you feel like you're talking at turtle speed. Oh dear God. That looks vaguely Eastern Bloc diplomatic car related, but it's a nice looking car. There you go. That's a Toyota Century. I've never even heard of these cars, and now I kind of vaguely want one. Okay. One thing I will say for Wikipedia, they're very good at showing you the different styling of cars when they change. So the first generation, excuse me, was actually somewhat that looks a little bit like the old Buicks, doesn't it, Bleach? The Skylark and Skyhawk, things like that on the front end. That's actually a nice looking car. That's the G20, I think. G20, G30, G40, first generation. So they produced those from 67 to 97. Must have been a good car. Engine was petrol. Power output was... do you guys know what PS stands for power output? Because they're not using horsepower apparently anymore. But I've got 150 to 190 PS, and it's converted to 110 to 140 kilowatts. I don't know what that means either. Horsepower, I understand. It's a heavy car. Okay, let me see what the second gen looks like. Second gen. The second gen was what I just had up, the G50. That was 97. That's actually a very nice car, I think. It's very classic styling, or classy styling. And for the third gen, which started in 2018, oh, I don't like the grill. Immediately turned off by the grill, but otherwise it's looks very similar to British cars, the saloon type cars that the Brits have. It's a nice looking car, don't get me wrong, but I'm not I wouldn't say I was a fan of that particular style, but I do like the second gen body styling. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Toyota Century had a V12, okay. Kizza de Gregory, Touche, but people don't regard those as JDMs like Skylines, Supras, etc. JDM. I'm going to need an explanation of that particular abbreviation. Let's see. Kizza tells me that I should be pronouncing Wankel with a V as it's German, so Wankel. Lomax, can you at least say... Oh, me Lucky Charms! Bastard. The things I do for my fucking subscribers. 20B is a 3-rotor Wankel engine that goes Oh, okay. Now I understand. Naturally aspirated, okay. Toyota Crown had a V8. B20 is a designation for the engine in Volvo 240, very close to the 20B name, but very different engine. Sasquatch says, yeah, but I'm still here. I'm okay. Hoping to sell my possessed truck today. Cool. Is that the Bumblebee mobile? I thought it was an Isuzu, but I'm thinking I'm wrong now. I'm thinking about it. Very classy pinky scroll. Thank you very much. Oh no, okay. You had the Xterra, the Nissan. Had it fixed the same day you got your Xterra. Okay, gotcha. Century is a limo. Fair. Fuck you guys. I'm not driving a Yugo. Christ, I need custom seats. We could set up a fundraiser, maybe $48, most of that gasoline. Yeah. It does look like an old Studebaker too, yeah. It reminded me of an old, maybe I'm thinking about Studebaker for a Skyhawk. No, I'm definitely thinking about a Buick Skyhawk. I saw, I think it was an old 60s Skyhawk up in Alberta. A mini bike. Oh yeah, I'd look so cute riding a mini bike. Fucking thing would disappear up my arse. Callum popped in. Morning, I'll stop by to drop a like, say hi. Got Warhammer Gaming tonight. Fun. Astartes going into the fire once more. Cool. In armor on him. Yeah, mini bike jousting in fucking full armor. Me and Prime Knight. That'd be so cute. Horsepower, torque, and weight. Most can get an idea of how powerful a car is. True. Like I said, the Wikipedia article didn't list horsepower. Japanese domestic machines. I see. Okay. Lomax is happy. Thank you so much, Ardent. That made me chuckle. I promise I'll desist with the merciless and unprovoked ridicule. No, by all means, feel free to be merciless and unprovoked in your ridicule. I don't mind. I don't take offense to any of that shit. Sass is exactly how I'll join that. You can have the winner, Sass. Okay. Yeah, I've got to get back at that tool wall, and then I think I'm going to go and get, breakfast. And definitely another coffee. Hope none of you get motion sickness. There you go. Hang on. Sasquatch says the sad part is he has experienced motorcycle jousting. Why is that sad? That's a mark of a life well lived, my friend. especially if you have scars. Studebaker had the Lark, Buick as the Skylark. Oh, okay. Were they kind of like Chevy and Oldsmobile, like they were kind of connected to each other? One was a submark of the other or something? Okay, I need to put the saws down there. Need that one and that one. This one and this one. And we'll start with the big saw. I think I might let these dangle instead this time. Let them dangle. How many rocks do I need? 1, 2. Yeah, okay. So I'll do that differently this time. Okay. No, I don't want to let them dangle. We'll go that way. No, we'll go that way. Yep. Where did I put my scratch all? There it is. Conveniently, there's already a hole there, but that's too high. That should do. I'm pretty sure that looked closer to my... Oh, you can't see it anyway. I was going to say that probably looked a lot closer to my toe than it was. Oh. The joy of bad knees. Okay, that's not going to work after all. I want to be able to grab these off the hooks, so. I also don't want to injure anybody who happens to reach in there. Okay. Put that there for the moment. Actually, that will work, won't it? Yeah, for now that'll do. Okay. For my next trick, putting saws on the wall. Okay, that might have to stay there for a minute. Did I just... I did, okay. rather than put more hooks in the wall, I'm going to put a small screw in there instead. That should stay there long enough to get the drill. Now the question is, will that work? Here we go. It very much does work. Good. Now you're going to notice I'm leaving a hole or a space under that second saw. Lift that angle up a little bit. I'm leaving a space under this second saw because I intend to pick up a dovetailing saw at some point. That's going to fill that last space there. Okay. I'll be the neighbor yelling at his dog, possibly his kid. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, the space here is going to get filled with a, well, that guard's not quite on right. Actually, it's not on right at all. Oh, that is the only way this guard goes on. Never mind. This space here, I'm going to end up saving for a dovetailing saw, and I'm going to put my chisels over here now. Now I need to get used to where every tool goes again. But that's alright. Tight there. Okay, that's a bit tight. I may switch that around. Would that necessitate switching everything else around? No. Okay. There we are. Okay. So what I've got to do here is actually move that screw over about an inch. And this extra chisel that I purchased a while back is just going to have to hang out. Okay, that won't fall out easily. So I'm going to move that screw over an inch or so. Oh, that's got to be bent outward, so I need to put a different hook in there. Hello. Seems like the little fella's having a bad day. Oh my. There. You are kidding me, right? Okay, 1/4 of an inch too far. There we are. Yep, that'll do. For now, that'll do. That'll do for now. Okay, what else do I need to get up there? My fret saw. There we go. Okay, so tool well's coming together. Got a few more things to add to it eventually, but it's pretty good. Let's see. I'm doing okay for extremely limited space. Okay, so I am going to have one more cigarette with you guys, and then I am heading into the house. Where did I put that down? There it is. Okay. And I'll get some breakfast and probably spend some time indoors doing some other chores that I need to get finished. And then I may very well do some more live streaming later tonight. So this probably won't be the last live stream for the day. Probably won't. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing for this morning. So drop this guy down. Give that a rotation so it doesn't fall. Actually, might as well just bring it back over here for the light source. And I've got to move. Oh, actually, I'm not done because I have to move this table before I'm finished. So, in actual fact, I'm going to have a cigarette and then do some more work because now that I have that moved, now that I have the tool wall put together, now I need to get that table right there over there. Actually, over under here. So yeah, definitely not finished yet. Though my knee is starting to tell me I should be. Which, of course, brings to mind a Toby Keith song. As good as I once was. And yeah, if you're like me, you listen to a little bit of everything. So let's scroll back through, see what I missed. Are you sure about that? 1 PS. Okay. Japanese domestic life complete. Okay, there we are. So, what does the PS stand for, if you guys happen to know, that they've replaced horsepower with? Art motion sickness just chroma us out of existence. Yeah. Oh, did the chroma blow out while I was moving? I'm not surprised. In the event of an emergency, your woodworker may be used as a flashbang. Yeah, let's see. Chroma, there we are. Not connected at all. Lovely. 1 PS equals 1 horsepower equals 0.735 kilowatt. Same body plan, engine with different grill and badging. Yes. Take care, folks, says Lomax. Have a lovely day. Always keep your spirits high and sense of humor polished. Sure. Sasquatch sent a message to the wrong spot. No big deal. Bleach is asking what the PS stands for. Some fuck off EV unit of energy. Ferdistarka? Also, it stands for Ferdistarka. PS stands for what the fuck is a Ferdistark? So it's basically exactly the same as a horsepower. Let's see how my German pronunciation works. Let me see the word again. Ferdistarke. No. Not unsurprisingly, this is programmed for American voices, so American in the North American sense, or English-speaking voices. Ferdistarke. It's horsepower. It's literally horsepower. Is Ferda? No, Ferda was probably before. So Ferda is power. Starka is horse. No, sorry, I'm wrong. The etymology is from Ferda, horses, plural, and Sterk, power, strength. So the PS stands for horsepower. Fuck you, Wikipedia. Why on earth would you even bother? Okay. Oh, Sasquatch is leaving. Y'all have a good morning, folks. Gotta go clean my truck out. See you, brother. German for horsepower or something. It's literally translated as horsepower. That's a load of useless letter changes. Yes, it is Bleach. Because the idiot who edited the Wikipedia article probably thought, it's not fucked up, let's fix it. Bleach says he feels the need to hate upon the metric system even more now. I don't think fair to Stark or horsepower are metric at all, but yeah. And Kizza points out that to Bleach that EVs usually use kilowatt hours for power measurements. Yeah. Excuse me. And Australia uses it for cars for some random reason. Have they always used it? Or did they switch from horsepower at some nebulous point? Kizza from Bleach wasn't sure if something had been pulled out of an arse just to change the way we talk about engines. I could see it. Also, cat pervert is still a thing. Okay. I'm thinking there's something connected to that. Gregory Price points out there is metric and imperial horsepower. Looked up the PS formula, all in French units. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I absolutely agree with Bleach. The American system is superior because it's the imperial system. So yeah. Brit trumps French. We didn't invade the rest of the world to speak their language or use their units. Oh dear. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Anyway. Okay then. Yeah, so it is currently 20 to 10 here in the morning. So I've been at this 2.5 hours. Huh. And yeah, like I say, I come out here and putter, but it's a little more involved than simply puttering. Looking at my aerosols now, I'm wondering if I have a cabinet I can put those in. I have a metal cabinet, but it's connected to a wooden wall, so it doesn't really fit for purpose. Definitely probably just going to put them in those shelves. I have hammers that I have to put up somewhere. Balls. Could I get them both up over there, I wonder? I'm wondering if either of them has a drilled handle. One of them is wood, one of them is what appears to be rubber-coated metal, so... You know what I miss? I miss the old leather washer hammers. Those things were awesome. Until the leather washer got damaged and you ended up having one loose one and tore your hand to pieces. Let's see. 1 metric horsepower equals 0.98632 imperial horsepower. So the imperial is better. Imperial horsepower is bigger than metric horsepower. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah. Those nail sets had to get moved too. I'm thinking I'm going to end up wanting to take that cabinet off that wall and pay no attention to the bingo wing. I've gained and lost weight so many times over the years that the muscle remains, but the bingo wing has come to stay. Have fun getting older, boys. No, I'm fairly sure that if I actually wanted to do serious arm workouts, I could probably get rid of that, but... Well, I'm apparently becoming a settled man now. Oh, and also I have to go before 10 because I have a phone call scheduled for 10 o'clock. So yeah, I will finish this and then I'm going to let you guys go. Get your weird questions in while you can. I'm honestly shocked nobody's asked me what the meaning of life is by now. And I've gotten that airspeed of a laden swallow thing a few times, so I do approve. I am very much a fan of Monty Python, so yeah. Okay, so the door can remain there. It did look like it was getting sunny for a moment. Now it looks like it may rain. I better go and have a look at the sky. Give me a second. Okay. I need to be able to get out a door, so this is going to have to move. I need to empty this thing today, too. goat. Well, doesn't smell like it's going to rain. Certainly looks like it might. Yeah, it doesn't smell like it'll rain, but it certainly looks like it might. The door, for the record, that was just me emptying out a mostly empty can of spray paint. Let's see, what else is going on? Anybody say anything after I got up? Have you sought out the bin puffin? We don't have bin puffins. We have a lot of bin, well, we don't even have bin chickens because we don't have ibises. We have shithawks, seagulls. Or trash falcons, if you want to fancy it up a bit. Apparently, we also have trash pandas. There are apparently reports of raccoons here in Newfoundland, which they're not endemic to the island, so clearly somebody brought them in. How and why is beyond me. Possibly escapees from a petting zoo, or escapees from some sort of animal shelter or something. Or possibly simply released pets. Surprisingly, we don't have wild hogs here yet. Though I suspect if we did release hogs, we'd end up with quite a lot. Don't have galas? What's a gala? I've heard the term. Or is it a gala? We don't have galas. That's an Australian thing. I know that. Now I'm going to have to look that up because now I'm curious. Gala. An Australian cockatoo. Pale blue-gray plumage and a pink breast. Images. I like pink breasts. Oh, they're cute. Are they a pest? I'm willing to bet they're a pest. But they are cute. I may have just triggered poor Gregory Price that time. Let's see. Pink and gray dingoes. Raccoons are getting on rubber boats and crossing from Labrador. I doubt they're crossing from Labrador. Noisy as fuck. Man, you haven't heard a seagull in seagulls in a feeding frenzy. They're shrill. Let me see. Yeah, no, I don't think raccoons will cross from Labrador. Possibly from Nova Scotia. I've seen footage of raccoons off of garbage trucks and stuff, so I'm thinking it's quite possible that they may have gotten onto the ferry by hanging onto a tractor trailer or two. Oh, you guys have seagulls too, eh? Well, everywhere has seagulls. So between a galah and a seagull, which is noisier, shriller, are they really high-pitched, angry-sounding creatures? Because seagulls are basically the Karens of the air. Okay, my abrasives need to go over in the abrasive cabinet. Galahs. Do you find a lot of dead galahs around? Oh, I think somebody might want to buy my door. So I'm going to cut it off here. And I will talk to you guys later. So, oh, okay, never mind, they're leaving. Guess they're looking at the door. Anyway, I will cut this off here. And I will talk to you guys later. I will be on sometime, probably in the next 6 hours or so. It may be early evening before I get on again. I don't know for sure. But I will absolutely be doing another live stream today. I need to get the tool wall finished, get this stuff put away, get that table moved, get the shop vac emptied, so I've got a bit of a full slate. If I find that I've got enough material to do it, I will be building a stand for either the bench, the drill press, the sander combo, or possibly putting together my bandsaw or my planer and putting one of those on a stand. Assuming the bandsaw needs a stand, I think it does not, so yeah, and you guys will get to see me fold the bandsaw, if there's two in there. I think it only comes with one blade, though. So, I will talk to you guys later. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have a good day, and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.